Hitting record. Oh my God, this is fantastic. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is afternoon. It is Veterans Day. And like I've been telling people all Veterans Day and Marine Corps birthday weekend, I'm doing the week of Thanksgiving. There will be 7 podcast videos, whatever you want to call them, day by day. And I am thankful in advance, and I've always been thankful to have guests who come on and take time out of their show. And I've had Ashley on before. Ashley Bugge, if you remember from prior podcast, is a Gold Star, wife of a Navy captain who passed away during a diving incident. She was on talk about that experience, what she's doing now. Ashley, welcome to Oscar Mike Radio.
Thank you so much for having me back. I really appreciate it.
No problem, no problem. Now, when we left this story, you were heading to Europe to spend time with your children and really do what I call the Bugge. I call it the Bugge methodology. Where, it's some people and my fellow veterans will cower and go into like this turtle protective mode thing, and your husband and your family and you don't live by that. You guys attack everything. I kind of wanted you to kind of explain what that attack mode is, because it's different.
Yeah, I like the Bugge methodology. I might, if you haven't trademarked that yet, I might.
It's all yours.
Yeah, and I haven't heard anybody say that before, so that's kind of cool to hear. But it's just kind of this lifestyle vision or dream of really living a life with no bucket list, of one life, one chance. You got to do it right the first time. There's no regrets. I don't know, just taking opportunities as they come at us, not living for the future, but living for the now, planning for the future, hoping for the future, but the future may never come. So doing what you need to do now to make the memories, live your life, have the smile, just really live a life with no regrets and no bucket list. That's kind of our whole family dynamic, our whole way of doing things, our whole way of hopefully leading by example and showing others that they can do that too. It's just a mindset, honestly. You just have to kind of make that shift of, someday I hope to do that. Well, why not set the goal and say, January next year, I'm going to do that. And then you work towards doing it. That's the Bugge methodology.
And that's what it's really seemed like. Instead of, going into this victim mode, and certainly bad things happen to people and you are a victim, yeah. But instead of letting that become your brand, your ideology, your I don't know if I'm saying that right, but instead of letting it define you, there we go. Instead of letting it define you, you kind of upended this and said, I'm going to take what's here and make it something else. And that's what you've done through all this. So again, we left it as you were going to Europe with your children to really, check those boxes and leave no bucket list behind. What was that like, traveling to Europe with the kids and different experiences?
It was the roller coaster that you can imagine it being. So my kids, at the time that we left in June, right after the 1-year memorial, Brian's passing. The kids were, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to think through this. I have 3 of them. They were 3, 4, and 11 months when we left.
What?
So we celebrated a 1-year birthday and a 5th birthday while we were over there, and my son had just turned 3. So I brought 2 friends with me. One of them was a former nanny that I had when I had just had my daughter, Adeline, the baby who I was pregnant with when Brian died. She came, and then one of my best friends from home who's experienced a lot of grief and trauma in her life as well. She's been to the funerals of her entire family before she even turned 30. So this really, I wanted to be a healing trip for myself, my 3 children, and then to include the people who have really just held my hand through this process the most. So yeah, the 6 of us, we packed a single backpack each. We each carried our
Get
own
out.
stuff.
No, there's no way.
Yeah,
my sisters can't go to a weekend, trip to dance without packing. You did it with one backpack?
We each had one backpack. We put our stuff and one of the kids' stuff in it, and that was like diapers, formula, clothes for every imaginable season because it was summer, but we were also going to be hiking in the Swiss Alps. We were going to be on the beaches of Santorini. I mean, we were literally trying to think through every possible scenario and cram it into a backpack.
I am
Which
just,
we did.
I'm amazed.
Yeah, I know.
No exaggeration there. That is truly
Yeah.
amazing. Even the Marine Corps can't, the Navy and the Marine Corps, we,
They need to call me. Marines, you call me. I will do your
exactly.
packing for you.
I need help. I need help. So,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, about our conversation, and you go over to Europe. I guess my first question is, how is Europe different from the US?
Well, so I mean, to backtrack a little bit, I was in a very, very dark place when Brian died. I'd lost the
Sure.
love of my life. I was 6 months pregnant. If I can be completely transparent, I was suicidal. Like, I did not think that I was going to be able to pull myself through this. I was making, honestly, just like minute by minute goals for myself of today I need to get out of bed. Today I need to drink some water. Today I need to have a bite of food. I mean, it was just setting the tiniest goals for myself. Uh, and then it became, okay, I just need to have this baby. I just need to give birth, and then I can decide what to do. And as I hit each of these little goals, then I had Adeline, and then it was, okay, I can do this. I've been a mom of 3 for a week now. I'm doing this. I can make it happen. And soon it became, okay, I'm going to do this. Like, the decision's been made that I am going to pull myself through this. There's no turning back. If I'm going to make this happen, then I'm going to make this happen how I want to do it. I'm going to live life on my terms. I'm going to get back to that person who I was before Brian passed away. And it became, I need to plan a trip. We had always traveled with the kids. International travel is no different than domestic travel in our eyes. It was something we were very comfortable with. And so
Okay.
it became, I needed to plan something extravagant, big, something to get myself excited about, something that would take an extraordinary amount of planning to keep me distracted from my sadness and from my depression. And at first it was going to be, I wanted to take the kids to Africa. I had been there. Brian had been there. It was a place near and dear to both of our hearts, and our kids have never been. And I really wanted to take them there. And I knew it was like this big life-changing trip. But then I started thinking about it and planning it a little bit. And I was like, I don't know that I can do Africa with 3 very young kids, hot, the vaccines you have to get, just a lot of stuff went into it. And then I honestly was at a stoplight on my way to the grocery store. And I thought, Europe, we could do Europe. Most of the places are really similar. There's English on all the signs in all of the airports. Most people in most countries speak at least a little bit of English. And if not, my high school Spanish can get me through some of the tougher conversations.
I
And
want to tell my kids that.
yeah, I'm very comfortable in Europe. I've traveled through most of Europe by myself, growing up, and I knew I could do it. Even if I didn't have help, I felt pretty confident that I could do it. And yeah, that's how we decided on Europe. And then I knew, there was a couple spots that I really wanted to go to for specific reasons. Norway, for instance, was Brian's favorite place on earth, and I had never been there. So we had talked about taking the kids there in the next year or so. And so I knew that needed to be on the list. There's a couple other places that I really wanted to go visit, show the kids places I had been, places I hadn't been. And I just started making a list, and it was 2 full months, 3 adults, 3 kids, 3 car seats, 3 backpacks. Yeah, a lot of late nights, a lot of early mornings, a lot of, all right, kids, we got to go. We did it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so you go, and what started happening to you and your family and your friends while you were over there? Did your mindset change at all when you actually touched down, started seeing these places?
Yeah, the biggest shift and the biggest victory for me, biggest success was finding my confidence, was getting my confidence back that I could do this. I can still be me. I can still be a great mom to these kids. We can still have epic adventures. We can still do this. It doesn't look the same. It doesn't feel the same at all as it did before, but that doesn't mean that we can't still find a way to do it. So in each of the countries, we found our way to the water. The ocean has always been a part of our family dynamic. And so that was the most important thing to me, was to get to water in any way we could in each of those countries. And so we were on sailing charters, we were on kayaks, we were in the ocean, we were dodging jellyfish in Amsterdam. I mean, anything we could do, we got to the water. We spread some of Brian's ashes in each of those countries.
Oh, that's amazing.
Paid our respects to him. Celebrated his birthday on an airplane ride to Amsterdam. It was his birthday, and so we all ate cheesecake. We had little moments, just really honoring him and really understanding that we were only doing this because of him. And celebrated the birthdays. My daughters each turned 1 and 5. Yeah, I don't know. It was
now, Ashley, if you don't have your confidence back now, you're never going to get it back. Okay, so
yeah.
If take it from me, my confidence in you has just skyrocketed when you think of all that goes into it. And also, just real quick, you were kind of building out how you're going to tell Brian's story the last time we talked. And if you go to her website, folks, I'll have the website link in the Oscar Mike Radio blog post. But you have this kind of short documentary about Pacific Gold. And it just really kind of brings you into your family story, into what kind of person Brian was. And is that what you were telling me about that you're working toward with this story, with this journey?
Yeah, really. I mean, he was just the epitome, honestly, of like the person that I want to be. He together, we were unstoppable. We had this incredible marriage, this incredible life together. But he was the person that was like, I think I want to go sail my boat across the ocean. And I said, I think that's awesome. You should do it. And he said, okay, I'm going to. And I said, okay. And we worked towards together making that happen. And then he PCS by sailing our 36-foot sailboat across the ocean. So yeah, really telling.
No, Ashley. I mean, just most wives don't trust their husband to go to the grocery store by themselves, and you let this man. I mean, that's just an amazing. I mean, to me, what that says is you really love and believe in this man wholeheartedly.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't that I let him. It was I encouraged him to do it. He was his own person. That's a mindset thing too. Like, I wanted him to live his best life. He wanted me to live my best life. Together, we just really encouraged that with each other. And that's, that was really important to us, to be in a relationship like that.
Well, just real quick, your effect on me was more profound than you think. I had my NAUI certification like 10 years ago and have not really done anything with it. So I got out my card, submitted it to NAUI, and in 2020 I'm going to get recertified again. I'm just going to just what you said. I need to get recertified. I'm not going to miss out on this. There's a lot to see and do. So I just started playing for that. And awesome. So you've inspired me to get back into diving.
I love that. Yeah, so in the meantime, since I probably last talked to you, I have actually started a scholarship foundation in Brian's name. It's also on my website. It's to encourage military veterans specifically to use scuba diving as a means of rehabilitation. So it's finding a passion outside of their military service, something that they can call their own, that they love doing, that is really just a release and a way to enjoy their time doing something that they love. So there's information about that on my website. I'm actually flying back to Hawaii on Wednesday.
What?
Kids and I are back on the airplane. I know, another 6-hour flight, 3 kids in tow. We're heading back to Hawaii to film a documentary, which that information will also be available on my website, but telling Brian's story of his death and helping other divers really just understand what happened, and with the idea of promoting safety within the diving community. So understanding errors, understanding error chains and why they happen, why they take place, and ways that we can prevent them. So that would hopefully be out early next year.
That's just amazing. A lot of people would say, I'm going to put away the fins. I'm going to turn the regulator off and hang it up. I'm done. But instead, you're taking this and saying, hey, we can make this sport, not only a sport, this lifestyle better, safer, for more people to
Yeah.
enjoy. I mean, where does that come from? That
I apparently am a glutton for punishment. I like to think of like, what is the hardest, craziest, biggest thing you can do that nobody else would ever do? And that sounds good. I'm going to try.
well, I mean, you don't just try; you actually do it. So it's just different from, and you
Yeah,
know, what I'm talking about from the I'm a victim.
I
I'm
know.
hurt. I'm not going to get back up again.
I'm not, I don't consider myself a victim. I think that I've had crappy things happen in my life. I think we all have. I think that you can make the best of any situation. I honestly, I know what I went through when I lost Brian, but I also know that other people have had it worse. They've gone through similar situations and they might not have had the support of the military. They might not have had the family and friends that I do. It could always be worse. So I truly don't consider myself a victim. I truly consider myself somebody that went through a terrible experience, but that has the opportunity to do whatever I want to make this a better situation, not only for myself and my kids, but for other people watching me and watching my story unfold. Hopefully they can find a way to connect with what I'm doing and see that it is possible to really make this your own. You know, I don't know.
I think the message here is, like you said, not living with regrets, not living with, you know, a bucket list that's not accomplished. It's what you said. It's about making a plan and executing it. And I think as long as people can understand that, you know, you're going to have healing there. So you're off to Hawaii. You're filming now. Are you still writing? You were talking about writing.
Yeah. So because I don't have enough on my plate, I
Yeah, I was going
also
to say I got an Alice pack. I can give you some more rocks in it, but still.
I know at this point I need more ideas. What's some crazy stuff that I can do? What's some more stuff I can put on my plate? Yeah, I finished book one. That manuscript is completely done. It's with my publisher now. It should be out sometime in 2020. Release date will be out soon. I'm halfway through book two. And then my kids are actually in the process of writing their own book on, from their own words, of dealing with grief and ways for children to get grief through grief of losing a parent.
No kidding.
No kidding.
What's I'm talking about Oscar Mike and being on the move, Ashley. I mean, I'm just sitting here dumbfounded, and I'm thinking, you know, when you get back from Hawaii, I'm gonna bounce some ideas off of you.
Yeah.
But absolutely. But one of the things, you know, it's Veterans Day, and we think about those who have served, and you have been very clear that your shipmates, your husband's shipmates in the Navy, really wrapped their arms around you and
Yeah.
your family and helped out. And it must be, you know, good to see that in this day and age.
It is. And honestly, you caught me at a really emotional morning. This morning, I was crying with my sister this morning, talking about all of the stuff that's happening right now and the fact that it's Veterans Day, and explaining to my 5-year-old this morning why she doesn't have school and why, you know, what Veterans Day means and what it means specifically to our family. Yeah, I'm just eternally grateful to those who serve and their families, their spouses. I mean, you know, it's so easy to say thank you for your service, but to look somebody in the eye and know what they sacrificed, what they continue to sacrifice for all of us. Yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to Brian. I'm grateful to his family and his friends. And I know that it's not a job. It's not a career. It is the way that you live your life. And it's more than just service. It's more than and just yourself giving something. It takes all of us to make that happen. And I am so grateful to the community of support from the military community specifically.
Well, we'll just, you know, if I may, you know, we were both trying to, you know, make all the details match up so we can talk. And I realized, you know, she's taking time out of her day. She's going to Hawaii this week. It's Veterans Day. It can't be an easy day. And it's just one of those things where, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate this time that you spent with me. You could have done something else or simply deferred to another time. And it really means a lot to me. And it really harkens back to that. What I like to say, I've thought about before, is the Bugge methodology. No regrets, no nothing. And so I'm really appreciative of your time with me. And I'm glad you came back on. And I definitely want to hear more.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, so for me, it's diving in 2020. I watched Pacific Gold, and a lot of things started clicking, you know, about what kind of guy Brian was. And I really commiserated with that. And I just feel that you have a really special story to tell.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, folks, for Ashley and I, the last time we did this was, via phone. She didn't get to see the light shine off my forehead, but this is all new. This is part of a 7-day stretch of podcasts I'm doing. Ashley took time out of her Veterans Day to talk with me. Ashley, safe travels wherever you're going. And, I see like a YouTube show or some kind of TV show where you go to a part unknown with your backpack and chronicle all that. You would inspire mothers and fathers everywhere.
All right. Well, if you've got that hookup, you send them my way. I've got time. I'll clear my schedule for that call.
No problem at all. We'll see what happens. Ashley, safe travels. And once again, thank you. Hey, it's Trust Oscar Mike Radio. My guest, Ashley Bugge, just an awesome, awesome woman. I can't say enough good things. Thank you very much. We're on the move. All right, I'll cut there, and I'm just blown away. I really am. And this actually worked, thank God. So it'll be up the week of Thanksgiving. I think you're up for cool. Or even Thursday.
Awesome.
So safe travels, and I will talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Bye.
Bye.